Shalom. I ain't gonna waste too much time waiting for people to come in here. I know they don't like reading. Shalom, Carlene.
Shalom, Sister Carlene. Yeah, people are in other rooms. They're breaking stuff down and going at it and doing all that. So I'm glad that you opened this room to do a reading. I can't wait to start. But we're gonna I'm ping some people too.
Yeah, same mode, same mode. I found it funny how I had this room scheduled since yesterday, and then all of a sudden there's reading rooms, well, supposed reading rooms going on at the same time, but it's all good. Whoever's gonna read is gonna read. Whoever ain't going. Shalom, shalom, Crystal.
Shalom, Sister Christal. Sister
Crystal.
Carlene, y'all can come up. What we're doing is nightly readings. I know it's like to tone the energy down because there's so much be going on in these rooms from day to day that if we can just have a time to just read the word of Yah and reflect without no extra stuff. So thank you, Brother Soul, for calling this reading. And I hope we can do this every night and that the Most High, lead and guide us. So we waiting with y'all ping people. Brother Soul gonna give us a nice prayer, and then we're gonna begin the reading. And anybody who want to come up and read a chapter or two, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, most def. If y'all want to come up, if anybody wants to read, feel free to raise your hand, come up and read a couple chapters. And I don't really have a set amount of pages or whatever that I want to do, but we'll just see how it goes. Y'all missed the, y'all missed the what's it called? The first two readings we did on Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. There's some good rooms, beautiful discussions, and it's necessary to get that wisdom, those books of wisdom in. Just want to Something we gotta do is read this thing front to back, though, get the full context. That's something that a lot of us do not do. And just like she said, you know, most of the time people on here all day debating and causing strife, and they'll be on here arguing for like 12 hours straight, didn't get no reading in the whole day. So it's one of the things starting to do this for, just to bring that energy down, get everybody focused on, thus save the Most High. Well, people don't like reading. They probably rather read Dr. Seuss. But right,
Con,
you know
I
they'll say,
realized that a lot of our people, don't like to read. I was talking to people, I was like, can we read? And they did not want to like read. They was like, read what? I was like, can we like read a whole chapter? Oh, I mean, they had a fit just because like, it's hard to read a whole, we can talk for 50 and 60 minutes, but you can't take like a minute and a half or something like that to read a whole chapter to edify yourself and the room. So that's one of the main things. My prayer is that our people would begin to study the word of Yah instead of asking all others for answers and just believing what somebody say. Like read this word. The Most High will definitely reveal it to you. I got my grandbaby here, so I'm gonna try to read with you, but I'm babysitting a little bit. Shalom, Sister Keisha. Shalom, sis. We doing a reading. What we starting with? Genesis. I miss you, sis. I miss you. Yeah, we got Tanakh reading room
Shalom,
going on.
shalom.
Shalom. We got
Oh,
good
that's what's up.
Tanakh reading room going on. So we finna do some
Okay.
some reading. Um and
Well, I
like
gotta
cause
be
we
up at 5 in the morning, so I'm gonna listen to y'all as I
woo
lay here. Yes, I gotta open to close tomorrow, and I got a meeting after that. So yeah.
okay. Well, we got you for as long as we got you. I'm glad you
Yes,
here. Bless us with your
ma'am. I'm
presence. I
glad I'm
love
here
you.
too. Yes, I love you too, sis. Shalom, family. Everybody in the room. Shalom.
Shalom. Brother Soul, you wanna kick off the prayer. We're gonna kick off a prayer and then we're gonna start reading from Are we reading from Genesis, brother?
Yeah, we reading we going front to back, side to side.
We're finna start another what we did. It took us 2 weeks in our room to read the whole Tanakh. And come on, baby. And so we want to do it again.
When y'all do that? You did it
We did it in our room.
nightly
Then
or
we Brother Face read the whole book of Genesis and Exodus by himself. And Brother Harifa like read the whole book of Psalms by himself. So we was just reading and reading all of it. Took us like 2 weeks, didn't it? Sis, like two weeks to read the Tanakh. Cause we every day we was like reading all day.
Yeah, it was beautiful. We read that whole Torah and Tanakh all the way through. Yep, beautiful.
that's what's up. Yeah, them J-Wish people we doing. I guess they read a tour like every week, something like that. So we gotta, if they can do that, we gotta at least do what they're doing, at the very least. But yeah, we can get started soon. I don't know about y'all, but it's mad cold. I'm in Florida. It's cold, mad cold down here.
It's definitely cold where I'm at.
I'm outside because just so there's no noise. Man, chilly out here.
Oh, Keisha, if you since you're gonna read, and that's right, and Keisha may not be here with us for long. Sister Keisha, can you please open with a prayer for us? And then we can Soul can Brother Soul can get into the reading or something. Cause she ain't gonna be here with us long. She gotta get up early in the morning.
Yeah, she could open it. I'll close it out when we're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. That'll be perfect. 'Cause as I get myself situated, that would be perfect. Oh, all praises to you, O Father, Yahweh, Father, our God, oh God. Thank you for this day and what you have made. Thank you for allowing us to be in it, oh God. Thank you for allowing us to speak your word, oh Father. Gain understanding of your word, oh Father. Thank you for everything that you allowed us to face today, good and bad, oh God. We thank you, oh God. We thank you for the air that we breathe, oh Father, the uses of our limbs, oh God. We thank you for our friends and our foes, oh Father. We ask you to turn our hearts more to you, oh God, completely towards you, oh God. We see nothing else but you, oh Father. We believe in nothing else other than you, oh God. There is no other idol. There is no other power other than you, oh Father. Yahweh, our God, oh, you asked us, oh God, to hearken our hearts back to you, oh God, and that prosperity would be ours, oh God, and it would be good for us, and we would be prosperous, oh God, and it's what you asked us, oh God. It's our first commandment, oh God, to know that there is no one other than you, oh God, and I receive it, oh Father. I worship no other God other than you, oh Father. You are our Father, oh God. We shall not want for nothing, oh God. And we thank you, oh God, for this opportunity to be able to read your word, oh Father. Open our eyes, give us understanding that we may lack, oh God. Give us the reason and to put it into perspective in our lives and use it every day, oh God. Encourage our spirit, oh Father. Let no weapon formed against us prosper, oh God. Keep us safe, oh God, in your word, oh God. Keep us safe from all the enemy, nothing seen and unseen, oh Father. We ask you and thank you for this time that we come together to hear your word, to speak your word, to read your words with our own eyes, oh God. Give us the understanding that we may lack and allow us to be better human beings, better soldiers for you, oh God, better individuals, better believers in you, oh God, as we go day for day. Every day, oh God. We speak your word, we believe it, and we are not wavered by anything other than you and what your word says, oh God. Give us the patience to not to argue or debate, oh God. Let them believe what they believe. If they don't see your word or they don't hear you have the understanding of your word, oh God. Take that release off of us, or let we not feel that we are accountable for them, oh God. We love you, Yahweh. You are our power. There is no other beside you, not to the left or the right, not above or beneath. And I believe your word is true. I see it every day. In your precious and holy name we pray and says, Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. Thank you,
Mm,
sister.
mm.
Shalom, brother Warifa. Shalom, brother Sharp. Sharp. I hope you're a brother. I'm sorry if you're not. I'm so sorry. We're doing a reading. We're
Hallelujah.
starting today. Is our first day starting reading from Genesis, and we're going to read every night straight through. We're going to read more and more so we can get more edification of the word of Yah. So anybody would like to read, if you don't have to, me and Soul, and but we would like to. You're very welcome if you would want to come up and read a few chapters to edify yourself and also the room.
Yeah, we can read all day tomorrow too. I ain't doing nothing tomorrow.
Oh, that'd
I
be
don't do nothing on
perfect.
Saturday. Shalom, Reef.
Shalom, brother Warifa.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad Soul opened this room. I say, man, we got to tone it down. Going these rooms, going at it with people, that's too much.
All right, so let's get started. All right, Genesis 1. In the beginning, Yah is creating the heavens and the earth. When the earth was astonishingly empty, with darkness upon the surface of the deep, and, and the divine presence hovered upon the surface of the waters. Yah said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Yah saw that the light was good, and and Yah separated between the light and the darkness. Yah called to the light day, and to the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, one day. Yah said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it separate between water and water." So Yah made the firmament and, and separated between the waters which were beneath the firmament and the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. God called, Yah called to the firmament heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, a second day. Yah said, "Let the waters beneath the heaven be gathered into one area, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. Yah called to the dry land earth, and to the gathering of waters he called seas. And Yah saw that it was good. Yah said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, herbage yielding seed, fruit trees yielding fruit after its kind, containing its own seed on the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth vegetation, herbage yielding seed after its kind, and trees yielding fruit, each containing its seed after its kind. And Yah saw it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a third day. Yah said, "Let there be luminaries in the firmament of the heaven to separate between the day and the night, and they shall serve as signs, and for festivals, and for days and years. And they shall serve as luminaries in the firmament of the heaven to shine upon the earth." And it was so. And Yah made two great luminaries, the greater luminary to dominate the day, and the lesser luminary to dominate the night, and the stars. And Yah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, to dominate by day and by night, and to separate between the light and the darkness. And Yah saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. Yah said, "Let the waters teem with teeming living creatures, and fowl that fly about over the earth across the expanse of the heavens." And Yah created the great sea giants and every living being that creeps, with which the waters teemed after their kinds, and all winged fowl of every kind. And Yah saw that it was good. Yah blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas. But the fowl shall increase on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning, a fifth day. Yah said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures, each according to his kind, animal and creeping thing, and beast of the land, each according to his kind." And it was so. Yah made the beast of the earth according to his kind, and the animal according to his kind, and every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind. And Yah saw it was good. And Yah said, let us make man in our image, and after our likeness. They shall rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and over the animal, the whole earth, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Yah created man in his image, in the image of Yah or Elohim. He created him, male and female. He created them. Yah blessed them, and Yah said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, the bird of the sky, and every living thing that moves on earth. Yah said, behold, I have given to you all herbage yielding seed that is on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed yielding fruit, it shall be yours for food. And to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth, within which there was a living soul, every green herb is for food. And it was so. And Yah saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Chapter 2. Thus the heaven and the earth were finished, in all their array. By the seventh day, Yah completed his work which he had done, and he abstained on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Yah blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because on it he abstained from all his work which Yah created to make. These are the products of the heaven and the earth when they were created on the day that Yah made earth and heaven. Now all the trees of the field were not yet on the earth, and all the herb of the field had not yet sprouted. For Yah had not sent rain upon the earth, and there was no man to work the soil. A mist ascended from the earth and watered the whole surface of the soil. And Yah formed man of the dust from the ground, and he blew into his nostrils the soul of life, and man became a living being. Yah planted a garden in Eden to the east, and placed there the man whom he had formed. And Yah caused to sprout from the ground every tree that was pleasing to the sight and good for food, also the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and bad. A river issues forth from Eden to water the garden, and from there it is divided and becomes four headwaters. The name of the first is Pishon, the one that encircles the whole land of Havilah, where the gold is. The gold of that land is good. The Badolak is there, and the Shoham stone. The second river is Gihon, the one that encircles the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Hiddekel, the one that flows toward the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. Yah took the man and placed him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you must not eat thereof. For on the day you eat of it you shall surely die. Yah said, it is not good that man be alone. I will make him a helper corresponding to him. Now Yah had formed out of the ground every beast of the field and every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he will call each one. And whatever the man called each living creature, that remained his name. And the man assigned the names to all the cattle, and to all the birds of the sky, and to every beast of the field. But as for man, he did not find a helper corresponding to him. So Yah cast a deep sleep upon the man, and he slept. And he took one of his sides and filled in the flesh of it in his place. Then Yah fashioned the side that he had taken from man into woman, and he brought her to the man. And the man said, this time it is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This shall be called woman, for from man she was taken. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and cling to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. They were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Chapter 3. Now the serpent was cunning beyond any beast of the field that Yah had made. He said to the woman, did perhaps Yah say, you shall not eat of any tree of the garden? The woman said to the serpent, of the fruit of any tree of the garden we may eat. Of the fruit of the tree which is in the center of the garden, Yah has said, you shall neither eat of it nor touch it, lest you die. The serpent said to the woman, you will surely not die, for Yah knows that on the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like Yah, knowing good and evil. And the woman perceived that the tree was good for eating, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was desirable as a means of wisdom. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked. And they sewed together a fig leaf and made themselves aprons. They heard the sound of Yah manifesting itself in the garden toward evening. And the man and his wife hid from Yah among the trees of the garden. Yah called out to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" He said, "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I am naked, so I hid." And he said, "Who told you you are naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I commanded you not to eat?" The man said, "The woman who you gave me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate." And Yah said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." And Yah said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, accursed are you beyond all cattle and beyond all beasts of the field. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will pound your head, and you will bite his heel." So the woman, he said, "I will greatly increase your suffering and your childbearing. In pain shall you bear children, yet your craving shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." To Adam he said, "Because you listened to the voice of your wife and ate the tree about which I commanded you, saying, You shall not eat of it. Accursed is the ground because of you. Through suffering you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall it sprout for you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. By the sweat of your brow shall you eat bread, until you return to the ground, from which you were taken. For you are dust, and to the dust shall you return." The man called his wife name Eve, because she had become the mother of all living. And Yah made for Adam and his wife garments of skin, and he clothed them. And Yah said, "Behold, man has become like the unique one among us, knowing good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever." So Yah banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the soil from which he was taken. And having driven out the man, he stationed at the east of the Garden of Eden the cherubim, and the flame of the ever-turning sword, to guard the way of the tree of life. Somebody else can take over from 4. Gotta get my throat right real quick. Don't be shy now.
Where y'all at? Where'd you leave off at,
Chapter
brother?
4.
Chapter 4. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Yahweh created man, in the likeness of Yahweh made he him, male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begat sons in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years, and begot Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 900 years, and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begot Canaan 815 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years, and begot Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 60 and 5 years, and begot Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begot Jared 830 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch. And Jared lived after he begot Enoch 800 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years, and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with Yahweh after he begot Methuselah 300 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Yahweh, and he was not, for Yahweh took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and begot Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech 782 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and begat a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, This same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahweh has cursed. And Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Yahweh saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And Yahweh said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of Yahweh came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same because became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man, whom I from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with Yahweh. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before Yahweh, and the earth was filled with violence. And Yahweh looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And Yahweh said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come up before me, for the earth is filled with violence through. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height 30 cubits. A window thou shalt make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower second and a third stories, that thou shalt make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that Yahweh commanded him, so did he. Chapter 7, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that Yahweh commanded him. Verse 6. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as Yahweh has commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600 year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day entered Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark, they and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird after every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh. And Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth. And the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. Verse 18. And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went up the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. All that was in the dry land died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days.
You able to read, Sage?
I got a couple more chapters in me, bro.
All right, go ahead.
Chapter 8. And Yahweh remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And Yahweh made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged, the fountains also of the deep, and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated, and the ark rested in the seventh month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the windows of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. Verse 10. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 27th day of the month, was the earth dried. Verse 15. And Yahweh spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Different order. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto Yahweh, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yahweh smelled a sweet savor. And Yahweh said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Chapter 9, verse 1. And Yahweh blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Christ. And surely your blood of your lives will I require at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. And you be fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. And Yahweh spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of the beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And Yahweh said, This is the token of the covenant which I made between me and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. Verse 15. And I will remember my covenant which is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between Yahweh and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And Yahweh said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his youngest son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be Yahweh of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Yahweh shall deceive Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Chapter 10, verse 1.
I'll take over at 11, Brother Warifa. I had to do an update. Sorry.
Your good says, Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elishah, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabtekah. And the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Therefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Keneh in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Kai, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah. The same is the great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistines, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusites, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamashite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. Spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Saigon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom, and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries and in their nations. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphashad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Ho, and Gether, and Mash. And Arpachshad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. And his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad, and Shalaph, and Hazmaveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzo, and Tekiah, and Obal, and Abameel, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, is that Jobab? And their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. You can have it, sis.
I know you ain't fall asleep, Sage.
Mm.
You want to read, Crystal?
Yeah, I was gonna read. I was trying to move to a quieter place. Um,
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm moving. My granddaughter playing Blippi, so I'm here. So I guess thank you, Crystal, for coming up. I can start. I'm gonna do
okay,
11, do a couple, and then if you can, all praises.
I sure will.
Shalom. The whole Genesis chapter 11. The whole world spoke the same language with the same vocabulary. 2. Now, as people moved eastward, they found a valley in the land of Shinar, where they settled. They said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them in the fire." For stone, they used bricks, and for mortar, they used bitumen. "Come," they said, "let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top reaching heaven. Let us make a name for ourselves so that we do not get scattered all over the world." Now Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower that the people had built. So they are all a single people with a single language, said Yahweh. This is only the start of their undertakings. Now nothing they plan to do will be beyond them. 7. Come, let us go down and confuse their languages there, so that they cannot understand one another. Yahweh scattered them thence all over the world, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, since there Yahweh confused the language of the whole world, and from there Yahweh scattered them all over the world. 10. These are Shem's descendants. When Shem was 100 years old, he fathered Arpachshad, 2 years after the flood. After the birth of Arpachshad, Shem lived 500 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Arpachshad was 35 years old, he fathered Shelah. After the birth of Shelah, Arpachshad lived 403 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Shelah was 30 years old, he fathered Eber. After the birth of Eber, Shelah lived lived 403 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Eber was 34 years old, he fathered Peleg. And after the birth of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Peleg was 30 years old, he fathered Reu. After the birth of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Reu was 32 years old, he fathered Serug. And after the birth of Serug, Reu lived 207 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Serug lived 30 years old, he fathered Nahor. After the birth of Nahor, Serug lived 200 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Nahor was 29 years old, he fathered Terah. And after the birth of Terah, Nahor lived 119 years and fathered sons and daughters. When Terah was 70 years old, he fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. These are Terah's descendants. Terah fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran fathered Lot. Haran died in the presence of his father Terah in his native land, of the Chaldeans. Abram and Noah both married. Abram's wife was called Sarah. Nahor's wife was called Milcah, daughter of Haran, father of Milcah and Iscah. Sarah was barren, having no children. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law, and the wife of Abram, and made them leave Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. But on arrival in Haran, they settled there. Terah's life lasted 2 years and 5 years, 205 years. Then he died at Haran. Genesis chapter 12. Yahweh said to Abram, leave your country, your kindred, and your father's house for a country which I shall show you. And I shall make you a great nation. I shall bless you and make your name famous. You are to be a blessing. I shall bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. And all clans on earth will bless themselves by you. So Abraham went as Yahweh told him. Abram went as Yahweh had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abram took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had amassed, and the people they had acquired in Haran. They set off for the land of Canaan and arrived there. Abram passed through the country as far as the holy place at Shechem, the oak of Moreh. The Canaanites were in the country at that time. Yahweh appeared to Abram and said, I shall give you this country to your progeny. And there Abram built an altar to Yahweh, who had appeared to him. From there he moved on to the mountainous district east of Bethel, where he pitched his tent, with Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. There he built an altar to Yahweh and invoked the name of Yahweh. When Abram made his way stage by stage in the Negev, there was a famine in the country, and Abram went down to Egypt to stay there for a time, since the famine in the country was severe. When he was about to enter Egypt, he took his wife Sarai. He said to his wife Sarai, look, I know you are a beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, that is his wife, and they will kill me, but leave you alive. Therefore, please tell them you are my sister, so that they may treat me well because of you and spare my life out of regard for you. 14. When Abram arrived in Egypt, the Egyptians did indeed see that the woman was very beautiful. When Pharaoh officials saw her, they sang her praises to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's household. And Abram was very well treated because of her, and received flocks and oxen and donkeys, men and women slaves, she donkeys and camels. But Yahweh inflicted severe plagues on Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife Sarai. So Pharaoh summoned Abram and said, what is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me she was your wife? Question. Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her to be my wife? Now, Here is your wife. Take her and go. And Pharaoh gave his people orders about him. They sent him on his way with his wife and all his possessions. 13, Genesis chapter 13. From Egypt, Abram returned to the Negev with his wife and all he possessed, and Lot with him. Abram was very rich in livestock, silver, and gold. By stages he went from the Negev to Bethel, where he had first pitched his tent between Bethel and Ai. At the place where he had formerly erected the altar, there Abram invoked the name of Yahweh. Lot, who was traveling with Abram, had flocks and cattle of his own and tents too. The land was not sufficient to accommodate them both at once, for they had too many possessions to be able to live together. 7. Dispute broke out between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and those of Lot. The Canaanites and Perizzites were living in the country at the time. 8. Accordingly, Abram said to Lot, we do not want discord between us or between my herdsmen and yours, for we are kinsmen. Is not the whole land open before you? Go in the opposite direction to me. If you take the left, I shall go right. If you take the right, I shall go left. Looking around, Lot saw all the Jordan plain irrigated everywhere. This was before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Yahweh or the land of Egypt, as far as Zoar. So Lot chose all the Jordan plain for himself and moved off eastwards. Thus they parted company. Abram settled in the land of Canaan. Lot settled among the cities of the plain, pitching his tents on the outskirts of Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were vicious and great sinners against Yahweh. Yahweh said to Abram after Lot had parted company with him, look all around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and west. For all the land within sight I shall give to you and your descendants forever. I shall make your descendants like the dust on the ground. When people succeed in counting the specks of dust on the ground, then they will be able to count your descendants too. 17. On your feet, travel the length and breadth of the country, for I mean to give it to you. So Abram moved his tent and went to settle at the oak of Mamre, at Hebron, and there he built an altar to Yahweh. 14. When when Amram fell, I think this Nimrod too. When Amram fell, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Eleazar, Chedor Lamor, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim, made war on Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, and Shinab, king of Adamah, Shemiba, king of Zobeam, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar. All the latter joined forces in the valley of Siddim, now the Salt Sea. For 12 years they had been under the yoke of Chedar Lamor. But in the 13th year they revolted. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer arrived, and the kings who had allied themselves with him. They defeated the Rephaim at Asherah, Karnaim, the Zuzim at Ham, the Emin in the plain of Corinthia, the Horites in the mountainous district of Seir near El Paran, which is on the edge of the desert. 7. Wheeling round, they came to the spring of judgment, that is Kadash. They conquered all the territory of the Amalekites and also the Amorites who lived in Hazazon Tamar. Then the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela, that is Zor, marched out and engaged them in the valley of Siddim. Laomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of the Goyim, Araphael, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now there were many bitumen wells in the valley of Siddim, and to their flight the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fell unto them, while the rest fled into the hills. The conquerors seized all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions and made off. They also took Lot, the nephew of Abram, and his possessions and made off. He had been living at Sodom. A survivor came to tell Abram and Anar, the Hebrew, who was living at the oak of the Amorite Mamre, the brother of Eshcol. These were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his kinsmen had been taken captive, he mustered his retainers born in his own household, numbering 318, and gave chase as far as Dan. He and his retainers deployed against them under cover of dark, defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. He captured all the goods as well as his kinsman Lot and his possessions, together with the women and people. When Abram returned from defeating Chedor and the kings who had been on his side, the king of Sodom came to of Sheveh, that is, the king of Sodom came to meet him in the valley of Sheveh, that is, the valley of the king. 18. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought bread and wine. He was a priest of Yah the Most High. He pronounced this blessing: Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be Yah for putting your enemies into your clutches. And Abram gave him a tenth of everything. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the people and take the possession for yourself. But Abram replied to king of Sodom, I swear by Yah Most High, creator of heaven and earth, not one thread, not one sandal strap will I take of what is yours, for you to be able to say, I made Abram rich. For myself, nothing, except what the troops have used up, and the share due to the men who came with me, Esco, Anor, and Mamre. Let them take their share. Genesis chapter 15. Sometime later, the word of Yahweh came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield and shall give you a very great reward. Yahweh, Abram replied, what use are your gifts since I am going on my way childless? Since you have given me no offspring. Abram continued, a member of my household will be my heir. Then Yahweh's word came to him in a reply. Such a one will not be your heir. No, your heir will be the issue of your own body. 5. Then taking him outside, he said, Look up at the sky and count the stars if you can. Just so will your descendants be, he told him. Abram put his faith in Yahweh, and this was reckoned to him as uprightness. He then said to him, I am Yahweh who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this country as your possession. Yahweh, Abram replied, how can I know that I shall possess it? Question. He said to him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old she-goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. He brought him all these, split the animals down the middle, and placed each half opposite the other. But the birds he did not divide. And whenever birds of prey swooped down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. 12. Now, as the sun was on the point of setting, a trance fell on Abram, and a deep dark dread descended on him. 13. Then Yahweh said to Abram, know this for certain, that your descendants will be exiles in a land not their own, and be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. 14. But I shall bring judgment on the nation that enslaves them, and after this they will leave with many possessions. 15. For your part, you will join your ancestors in peace. You will be buried at a happy old age. In the fourth generation, they will come back here. For until then, the iniquity of the Amorites will not have reached its full extent. When the sun had set and it was dark, there appeared a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch passing between the animal pieces. 18. That day Yahweh made a covenant with Abram in these terms: to your descendants I give this country, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, the Canaanites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. Genesis chapter 16. Abram's wife Sarai had borne him no child, but she had an Egyptian slave girl called Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, listen now, since Yahweh has kept me from having children, go to my slave girl. Perhaps I shall get children through her. And Abram took Sarai's advice. Thus, after Abram had lived in the land of Canaan for 10 years, Sarai took Hagar, her Egyptian slave girl, and gave her to Abram as his wife. He went to Hagar, and she conceived. And once she knew she had conceived, her mistress counted for nothing in her eyes. Then Sarai said to Abraham, this outrage done to me is your fault. It was I who put my slave girl into your arms, but now she knows that she has conceived. I count for nothing in her eyes. Yahweh judge between me and you. Very well, Abram said to Sarai, your slave girl is at your disposal. Treat her as you think fit. Sarai accordingly treated her so badly that she ran away from her. 7. The angel of Yahweh found her by a spring in the desert, the spring on the road to Shur. He said, Hagar, slave girl of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going? I am running away from my mistress, Sarah, she replied. The angel of Yahweh said to her, go back to your mistress and submit to her. The angel of Yahweh further said to her, I shall make your descendants too numerous to be counted. Then the angel of Yahweh said to her, now you have conceived and will bear a son, and you shall name him Ishmael, for Yahweh has heard your cries of distress. 12. A wild donkey of a man he will be, his hand against every man, and every man's hand against him, living his life in defiance of all his kinsmen. Hagar gave a name to Yahweh who had spoken to her. You are Elroy, by which she meant, did I not go on seeing here? Did I not go on seeing here after him who sees me? This is why the well is called the well of Leoroi. It is between Kadesh and Bered. Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram gave his son born by Hagar the name Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. Genesis chapter 17. When Abram was 99 years old, Yahweh appeared to him and said, I am El Shaddai. Live in my presence and be perfect. And I shall grant a covenant between myself and you, and make you very numerous. And Abram bowed to the ground. Yahweh spoke to him as follows: for my part, this is my covenant with you. You will become the father of many nations, and you are no longer to be called Abram. Your name is to be called Abraham. For I am making you father of many nations, and I shall make you exceedingly fertile. I shall make you into nations, and your issue will be kings. And I shall maintain my covenant between myself and you and your descendants after you, generation after generation, as a covenant in perpetuity, to be your all and the God of your ancestors after, and the God of your descendants after you. And to you and to your descendants after you, I shall give the country where you are now immigrants, the entire land of Canaan, to own in perpetuity. And I shall be your God. Yah further said to Abram, you, for your part, must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you, generation after generation. This is my covenant which you must keep between myself and you and your descendants after you. Every one of your males must be circumcised. You must circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and that will be a sign of the covenant between myself and you. As soon as he is 8 days old, every one of your males, generation after generation, must be circumcised, including slaves born within the household or bought from a foreigner not of your own descent. Whether born within the household or bought, they must be circumcised. My covenant must be marked in your flesh as a covenant in perpetuity. The uncircumcised male whose foreskin has not been circumcised, that person must be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. 15. Furthermore, Yah said to Abram, as regards your wife Sarai, you must not call her Sarai, but Sarah. I shall bless her, and moreover give you a son by her. I shall bless her, and she will become nations. Kings of people will issue from her. Abram bowed to the ground, and he laughed, thinking to himself, is a child to be born to a man 100 years old? And will Sarah have a child at the age of 90? 18. Abram said to Yah, may Ishmael live in your presence. That will be enough. But Yah replied, yes, your wife Sarah will bear you a son, whom you must name Isaac, and I shall maintain my covenant with him, a covenant in perpetuity, to be his God and the God of his descendants after him. For Ishmael too I grant you your request. I hereby bless him and will make him fruitful and exceedingly numerous. He will be the father of 12 princes, and I shall make him into a great nation. But my covenant I shall maintain with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear you at this time next year. When he had finished speaking to Abraham, Yah went up from him. Then Abraham took his son Ishmael, all the slaves born in his household, or whom he had bought, in short, all the males among the peoples of Abraham's household, and circumcised their foreskins that same day, as Yah had said to him. Abraham was 99 years old when his foreskin was circumcised. Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when his foreskin was circumcised. Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised on the very same day. And all the men of his household, those born in the household and those bought from foreigners, were circumcised with him. Genesis 18. Somebody want to read? We're on Genesis 18.
Crystal can take it if she want to read. If not, I'll take over.
Genesis 18.
Sure. It's KJV. Are y'all okay with
Oh,
that?
yes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. And Yahweh, that's what I said, appeared unto him in the plains of Meri, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, Yahweh, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, so do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he has to dress it. And he hastened, to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for Yahweh? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, and Yahweh said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Question. For I know him, that he will command his children in his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yahweh to do justice and judgment, and Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. And Yahweh said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. Verse 22. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before Yahweh. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Um, Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Question. And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous in the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahweh, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, O let not Yahweh be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahweh. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not Yahweh be angry. I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And Yahweh went his way, and as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. Chapter 19. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs to be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides? Son in law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxed great before the face of Yahweh, and Yahweh hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons in law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Yahweh will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-laws. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, Yahweh being merciful unto them, and they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live? And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zor. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zor. Then Yahweh rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the city and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham gate up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when Yah destroyed the cities of the plain, that Yah remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zor and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zor, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that he may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morning that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. Genesis chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But Yah came to Abimelech, I'm sorry, in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Ab- Abimelech, am I saying that right? Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she even herself said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and in innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore, suffer I thee not to touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore, Ab- Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I saw, surely the fear of Yah is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. And it came to pass, when Yah caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given my brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of thy eyes, unto all that are with thee, and with all other. Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto Yah, and Yah healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. For the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. And I let somebody else take over. I'm at chapter 21.
I gotta hop in. 21. Y'all have remembered Sarah as he had said, and Yah did for Sarah as he had spoken. Sarah conceived and bore a son unto Abraham in his old age, at the appointed time which Yah had spoken. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah had borne him, Isaac. Abraham circumcised his son Isaac at the age of 8 days, 8 days, as Yah had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has made laughter. Yah has made laughter for me. Whoever hears will laugh for me. And she said, who is the one who said to Abraham, Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned. Abraham made a great feast on the day Isaac was weaned. Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. So she said to Abraham, drive out the slave woman with her son, for the son of that slave woman shall not inherit with my son, with Isaac. The matter greatly distressed Abraham regarding his son. So Yah said to Abraham, be not distressed over the youth or your slave woman. Whatever Sarah tells you, heed her voice, since through Isaac will be offspring considered yours. But the son of the slave woman as well will I make into a nation, for he is your offspring. So Abraham awoke early in the morning, took bread and a skin of water, and gave them to Hagar. He placed them on her shoulder along with the boy and sent her off. She departed and strayed in the desert of Beersheba. When the water of the skin was consumed, she cast off the boy beneath one of the trees. She went and sat herself down at a distance, some bow shots away, for she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat at a distance, lifted her voice, and wept. Yah heard the cry of the youth, and an angel of Yah called to Hagar from heaven, and said to her, what troubles you, Hagar? Fear not, for Yah has heeded the cry of the youth in his present state. Arise, lift up the youth, and grasp your hand upon him, for I will make a great nation of him. Then Yah opened her eyes, and she perceived a well of water. She went and filled the skin with water, and gave the youth to drink. Yah was with the youth, and he grew up. He dwelt in the desert and became an accomplished archer. He lived in the desert of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. At that time, Abimelech and Phicol, general of his legion, said to Abraham, Yah is with you in all that you do. Now swear to me here by Yah that you will not deal falsely with me, nor my son, nor with my grandson, according to the kindness that I have done with you. Do with me, and with the land in which you have sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. Then Abraham disputed with Abimelech regarding the well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. But Abimelech said, I do not know who did this thing. Furthermore, you have never told me, and moreover, I myself have heard nothing of it except for it today. So Abraham took flocks and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them entered into a covenant. Abraham set 7 ewes of the flock by themselves, and Abimelech said to Abraham, what are these 7 ewes which you have set by themselves? And he replied, because you are to take these 7 ewes from me, that it may serve me as a testimony that I dug this well. Therefore that place was called Beersheba, because there the two of them took an oath. Thus they entered into a covenant at Beersheba. Abimelech then arose with Phicol his general, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. He planted an Ishel in Beersheba, and there he proclaimed the name of Yah, Elohim of the universe. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistines many years. Chapter 22. And it happened after these things that Elohim tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he replied, here I am. And he said, please take your son, your only one, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah. Bring him up there as an offering upon one of the mountains which I shall tell you. So Abraham woke up early in the morning, and he saddled his donkey. He took 2 young men with him and Isaac, his son. He split the wood for the offering, and stood up and went to the place of which Yah had spoken to him. On the 3rd day, Abraham raised his eyes and perceived the place from afar. And Abraham said to his young men, stay here by yourselves with the donkey, while I and the lad will go yonder. We will worship, and we will return to you. And Abraham took the wood for the offering and placed it on Isaac, his son. He took in his hand the fire and the knife, and the two of them went together. Then Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, Father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Here are the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the offering? And Abraham said, Yah will seek out for himself the lamb for the offering, my son. And the two of them went together. They arrived at the place which Yah had spoken to him. Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood. He bound Isaac his son, and he placed him on the altar atop the wood. Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. And an angel of Yah called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not stretch out your hand against the lad, nor do anything to him. For now I know that you are a Yah-fearing man, since you have not withheld your son, your only one, from me. And Abraham raised his eyes and saw, behold, a ram, afterwards caught in the thicket by his horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as an offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that site Yahweh Yireh, as it said this day, on the mountain Yahweh will be seen. And the angel of Yahweh called to Abraham a second time from heaven, and he said, By myself I swear, the word of Yahweh, what thus saith Yahweh, as you have done this day you have done this thing, and have not withheld your son, your only one, that I shall surely bless you, and greatly increase your offspring like the stars of the heavens, and like the sand of the seashore. And your offspring shall inherit the gate of its enemy. And all the nations of the earth shall bless themselves by your offering, because you have listened to my voice. Abraham returned to his young men, and they stood up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham stayed at Beersheba. It came to pass after these things that Abraham was told, saying, Behold, Milcah too has borne children of Nahor, your brother, Uz, his firstborn, Buz, his brother, Kemuel, the father of Aram, and Chesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah, also bore children, Tebah, Gaham, Tahash, Makkah. Chapter 23. Sarah's lifetime was 100 years, 20 years, and 7 years, the years of Sarah's life. Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to eulogize Sarah and to weep for her. Abraham rose up from the presence of his dead and spoke to the children of Heth, saying, I am an alien and a resident among you. Grant me an estate for a burial site with you, that I may bury my dead from before me. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my lord. You are a prince of Yah in our midst. In the choices of our burial places, bury your dead. Any of us will not withhold his burial place from you, from burying your dead. Then Abraham rose up and bowed down to the members of the council, to the children of Heth. He spoke to them, saying, If it is truly your will to bury my dead from before me, heed me, and intercede for me with Ephron, son of Zohar. Let him grant me the cave of Machpelah, which is his, on the edge of his field. Let him grant it to me for its full price, in your midst, as an estate for a burial site. Now Ephron was sitting in the midst of the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite responded to Abraham in the hearing of the children of Heth, for all who come to the gate of this city, saying, No, my lord, heed me. You have given you the field. I have given you the field, and as for the cave that is in it, I have given it to you. In the view of the children of my people, I have given it to you. Bury your dead. So Abraham bowed down before the members of the council. He spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the members of the council, saying, Rather, if only you would heed me, I give the price of the field, accept it from me, that I may bury my dead there. And Ephron replied to Abraham, saying to him, My lord, heed me. Land worth 400 silver shekels between me and you. What is it? Bury your dead. Abraham heeded Ephron, and Abraham weighed out to Ephron the price of which he had mentioned in the hearing of the children of Heth, 400 silver shekels in negotiable currency. And Ephron's field, which was in Machpelah, facing Mamre, the field and the cane cave within it, and all the trees in the field, within all its surrounding boundaries, was confirmed, as Abraham's as a purchase in the view of the children of Heth among all who came to the gate of his city. And afterwards Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah, facing Mamre, which is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Thus the field with the cave that was in it was confirmed as Abraham's as an estate for a burial site from the children of Heth. Chapter 24. Now Abraham was old, well on in years, and Yah had blessed Abraham with everything. And Abraham said to his servant, the elder of his household who controlled all that was his, place now your hand under my thigh, and I will have you swear by Yah, Elohim of heaven and Elohim of earth, that you not take a wife from my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Rather to my land and to my kindred shall you go, and take a wife from my son Isaac. The servant said to him, perhaps the woman shall not wish to follow me to this land. Shall I take your son back to the land from which you departed? Abraham answered him, beware not to return my son to there. Yah, Elohim of heaven, who took me from the house of my father and from the land of my birth, who spoke concerning me, and who swore to me, saying, to your offspring will I give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you will take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman will not wish to follow you, you shall then be absolved of this oath of mine. However, do not return my son to there. So the servant placed his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him regarding this matter. Then the servant took 10 camels of his master's camels, and set out with all the bounty of his master in his hand, and made his way to Aram Naharam, to the city of Nahor. He made the camels kneel down outside the city towards a well of water at evening time, the time when the woman would draw water come out. And he said, Yah, Elohim of my master Abraham, may you arrange it so may you so arrange it for me this day that you do kindness with my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing here by the spring of water, and the daughters of the townsmen come out to draw water. Let it be that the maiden, to whom shall I say, please tip over your jug so I may drink, and who replies, drink, and I will even water your camels. Her will you have designated for your servant, for Isaac, and may I know through her that you have done kindness with my master. And it was when he had not yet finished speaking that suddenly Rebekah was coming out, she who had been born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, brother of Abraham, with her jug upon her shoulder. Now the maiden was very fair to look upon, a virgin whom no man had known. She descended to the spring, filled her jug, and ascended. The servant ran towards her and said, let me sip, if you please, a little water from your jug. She said, drink, my lord. And quickly she lowered her jug to her hand and gave him to drink. When she finished giving him the drink, she said, I will draw water even for your camels until they have finished drinking. So she hurried and emptied her jug into the trough and kept running to the well to draw water. And she drew for all his camels. The man was astonished at her, reflecting silently to know whether Yah had made his journey successful or not. And it was. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took a golden nose ring. Its weight was a bakah, and 2 bracelets on her arm. 10 gold shekels was their weight. And he said, whose daughter are you? Pray, tell me, is there a room in your father's house for us to spend the night? She said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she said to him, even straw and feed is plentiful with us, as well as a place to lodge. So the man bowed low and prostrated himself to Yah. He said, blessed is Yah, Elohim of my master Abraham, who has not withheld his kindness and truth from my master. As for me, Yah has guided me on the way to the house of my master's brothers. The maiden ran and told her mother's household according to these events. Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. Laban ran to the man outside to the spring, for upon seeing the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's hands, and upon hearing his sister Rebekah's words, saying, thus has the man spoken to me, he approached the man who was still standing by the camel by the spring. He said, come, O blessed of Yah, Why should you stand outside when I have cleared the house and a place for the camels? So the man entered the house and unmuzzled the camels. He gave straw and feed for the camels, and water to bathe his feet, and the feet of the men who were with him. Food was set before him, but he said, I will not eat until I have spoken my piece. And he said, Speak. Then he said, A servant of Abraham am I. Yah has greatly blessed my master, and he prospered. He has given him flocks, cattle, silver and gold, servants and maidservants, camels and donkeys. Sarah, my master's wife, bore my master a son after she had grown old, and he gave him all that he possesses. And my master had me take an oath, saying, Do not take a wife from my son from the daughters of the Canaanites in whose land I dwell, unless you go to my father's house and to my family and take a wife from my son. And I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not follow me. He replied to me, Yah, before whom I have walked, will send his angel with you and make your journey successful, and you will take a wife from my son, from my family, and my father's house. Then you will be absolved from my oath when you have come to my family. And if they will not give her to you, then you shall be absolved from my oath. I came today to the spring and said, Yah, Elohim of my master Abraham, if you will graciously make successful the way on which I go, behold, I am standing by the spring of water. Let it be. Hold on. I'm on the right page. Oh, yeah. I thought I was tripping. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water. Let it be that the young woman who comes out to draw and to whom I shall say, Please give me some water to drink from your jug, and he will answer, You may also drink, and I will draw water for your camels too. She shall be the woman whom Yah has designated for my master's son. I had not yet finished meditating when suddenly Rebekah came out with a jug on her shoulder and descended to the spring and drew water. Then I said to her, Please give me a drink. She hurried and lowered her jug from upon herself and said, Drink, and I will even water your camels. So I drank, and she watered the camels also. Then I questioned her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. And I placed the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her hands. Then I bowed and prostrated myself to Yah and blessed Yah, Elohim of my master, Abraham, who led me on a true path to take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. And now, if you intend to do kindness and truth with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, and I will turn to the right or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The matter stems from Yah. We can say to you neither bad nor good. Here, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be a wife to your master's son, as Yah has spoken. And it was, when Abraham's servant heard their words, he prostrated himself to the ground unto Yah. The servant brought out objects of silver and gold and garments, and gave them to Rebekah, and delicious fruits he gave to her brother and her mother. They ate and drank, and the men who were with him, he and the men who were with him, and they spent the night. When they arose next morning, he said, Send me to my master. Her brother and mother said, Let the maiden remain with us a year or 10 months, then she will go. He said to them, Do not delay me now that Yah has made my journey successful. Send me, and I will go to my master. And they said, Let us call the maiden and ask her decision. They called Rebekah and said to her, Will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. So they escorted Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, as well as Abraham's servant and his men. They blessed Rebekah and said to her, Our sister, may you come to be thousands of myriads, and may your offspring inherit the gate of its foes. Then Rebekah arose with her maidens. They rode upon the camels and proceeded after the man. The servant took Rebekah and went. Now Isaac came from having gone to Beer Lahai, for he dwelt in the south country. Isaac went out to supplicate in the field towards evening, and he raised his eyes and saw, and behold, camels were coming. And Rebekah raised her eyes and saw Isaac. She inclined while upon a camel. And she said to the servant, "Who is that man walking in the field towards us?" And the servant said, "He is my master." She then took the veil and covered herself. The servant told Isaac all the things he had done, and Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah, his mother. He married Rebekah. She became his wife, and he loved her. And thus Isaac consoled after his mother. Anybody want to take over 25?
I had to get to a quiet spot. Genesis 25. Abraham married another wife whose name was Keturah, and she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan, and the descendants of Dedan were the Asherites, the Letusim, and the Leumin. The descendants of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abadah, and Eldiah. All these were the sons of Keturah. Abraham left all his possessions to Isaac. To the sons of his concubines, Abraham made grants during his lifetime, sending them away from his son Isaac eastward to the land of the east. The number of years Abraham lived was 175. When Abraham had breathed his last, dying at a happy ripe age, old and full of years, he was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, facing Mamre, in the field of Ephraim the Hittite, son of Zohar. This was the field that Abraham had bought from the Hittites, and Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried there. After Abraham's death, Yah blessed his son Isaac. Isaac settled near the well of Laoi. These are the descendants of Ishmael, son of Abraham by Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian slave girl. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael by name and line. Ishmael's firstborn was Nebor, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jeter, Napish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names according to their settlements and encampments. 12 chiefs of as many tribes. The number of years Ishmael lived was 137 when he breathed his last and died. He was gathered to his people. He lived in a territory stretching from Havilah by Shur, just outside Egypt on the way to Assyria, and he held his own against all his kinsmen. This is the story of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham fathered Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, and sister of Laban, the Aramean. Isaac prayed to Yahweh on behalf of his wife, for she was barren. Yahweh heard his prayer, and his wife Rebekah conceived. But the children inside her struggled so much that she said, "If this is the way of it, why go on living?" So she went to consult Yahweh, and Yahweh said to her, "There are two nations in your womb. Your issue will be two rival peoples. One nation will have the mastery of the other, and the elder will serve the younger." When the time came for her confinement, there were indeed twins in her womb. The first to be born was red, altogether like a hairy cloak, so they named him Esau. Then his brother was born, with his hand grasping Esau's heel, so they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old at the time of their birth. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the open country. Jacob, on the other hand, was a quiet man, staying at home amongst the tents. Isaac preferred Esau for he had a taste for wild game, but Rebekah preferred Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau returned from the countryside, exhausted. Esau said to Jacob, "Give me a mouthful of that red stuff there. I am exhausted," hence the name given him Edom. Jacob said, "First, give me your birthright in exchange." Esau said, "Here I am at death's door. What use is a birthright to me?" And Jacob said, "First, give me your oath." He gave him his oath and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave him some bread and lentil stew. He ate, drank, got up, and went away. That was all Esau cared about his birthright. Genesis 26. There was a famine in the country, different from the previous famine which took place in the time of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, the Philistine king at Gerar. Yahweh had appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Stay in the country which I shall point out to you. Remain for the present in that country. I shall be with you and bless you, for I shall give all these countries to you and your descendants in fulfillment of the oath I swore to your father Abraham. I shall make your descendants as numerous as the stars of heaven, and I shall give them all these countries, and all nations on earth will bless themselves by your descendants in return for Abraham's obedience, for he kept my charge, kept my commandment, my statutes, and my Torah." So Isaac stayed at Gerar. When the people of the place asked him about his wife, he replied, "She is my sister." For he was afraid to say, "She is my wife," thinking, "The people of the place will kill me because of Rebekah, since she is beautiful." When he had been there some time, Abimelech, the Philistine king, happened to look out the window and saw Isaac fondling his wife, Rebekah. Abimelech summoned Isaac and said to him, "Surely she must be your wife. How could you have said she is my sister?" Isaac replied, "Because I thought I might be killed on her account." Abimelech said, "What a thing to do to us. One of the people might easily have slept with your wife. We should have incurred guilt thanks to you." Then Abimelech issued this order to all the peoples: "Whoever touches this man or his wife will be put to death." Isaac sowed his crops in that country, and that year he reaped 100-fold. Yahweh blessed him, and the man became rich. He prospered more and more until he was very rich indeed. He acquired flocks and herds and a large retinue. The Philistines began to envy him. The Philistines had blocked up all the wells dug by his father's servants in the days of his father Abraham, filling them with earth. Then Abimelech said to Isaac, "You must leave us, for you have become much more powerful than we are." So Isaac left. He pitched camp in the valley of Gerar, and there he stayed. Isaac reopened the wells dug by the servants of his father Abraham and blocked up by the Philistines after Abraham's death. And he gave them the same names as his father had given them. And when Isaac's servants digging in the valley found a well of spring water there, the herdsmen of Gerar disputed it with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "That water is ours." So Isaac named the well Esek, because they had disputed with him. They dug another well, and there was a dispute over that one too. So he named it Sitnah. Then he left there and dug another well, and since there was no dispute over this one, he named it Rehoboth, saying, "Now Yahweh has made room for us to thrive in the country." From there he went to Beersheba. Yahweh appeared to him the same night and said, "I am the power of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I shall bless you and multiply your offspring for my servant Abraham's sake." There he built an altar and invoked the name of Yahweh. There he pitched his tent, and there Isaac's servants sank a well. Abimelech came from Gerar to see him with Ahuzah, his advisor, and Pichol, the commander of his army. Isaac said to them, "Why do you come to me, since you hate me and have made me leave you? It has become clear to us that Yahweh was with you. they replied. And so we thought it is time to have a treaty sworn between us and you. So let us make a covenant with you, that you will not do us any harm, since we never molested you, but were unfailingly kind to you, and let you go away in peace henceforth. Yahweh's blessing on you. He then made them a feast, and they ate and drank. 31. Early next morning, they exchanged oaths. Then Isaac bade them farewell, and they left him as friends. It happened the same day that Isaac's servants brought him news about the well they had been digging. We have found water, they said to him. So he called the well Sheba, and hence the town is named Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basemath, daughter of Elon the Hittite. These were a bitter disappointment to Isaac and Rebekah. Genesis 27. When Isaac had grown old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he summoned his elder son Esau. Son, he said, and Esau replied, Here I am. He then said, Look, I am old and do not know when I may die. Now take your weapons, your quiver and bow. Go out into the country and hunt me some game. Make me the kind of appetitious dish I like, and bring it to me to eat, and I shall give you my special blessing before I die. 5. Rebekah was listening while Isaac was talking to his son Esau. So when Esau went into the country to hunt game for his father, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, I just heard your father saying to your brother Esau, Bring me some game and make an appetitious dish for me to eat, and then I shall bless you in Yahweh's presence before I die. Now, son, listen to me and do as I tell you. Go to the flock and bring me back 2 good kids, so that I can make the kind of special dish your father likes. Then take it to your father for him to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies. Jacob said to his mother, Rebekah, Look, my brother Esau is hairy, while I am smooth skinned. If my father happens to touch me, he will see I am cheating him, and I shall bring a curse down on myself instead of a blessing. But his mother replied, On me be the curse, my son. Just listen to me. Go and fetch me the kids. So he went to fetch them and brought them to his mother, and she made the kind of special dish his father liked. Rebekah took her elder son Esau's best clothes, which she had at home, and dressed her younger son Jacob in them, covering his arms and the smooth part of his neck with the skins of the kids. She then handed the special dish and the bread she had made to her son Jacob. He went to his father and said, Father. Yes, he replied. Which of my sons are you? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of the game I have bought, and then give me your soul's blessing. Isaac said to his son, Son, how did you succeed so quickly? He replied, Because Yahweh, your God, made things go well for me. Isaac said to Jacob, Come closer, son, so that I can feel you and be sure whether you really are my son Esau or not. Jacob went closer to his father Isaac, who felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the arms are the arms of Esau. He did not recognize him, since his arms were hairy like his brother Esau's, and so he blessed him. He said, Are you really my son Esau? And he replied, I am. Isaac said, Serve it to me so that I can eat my son's game and give you my special blessing. He served it to him, and he ate it. He offered him wine, and he drank. His father Isaac said to him, Come closer and kiss me, son. He went closer and kissed his father, who sniffed the smell of his clothes. Then he blessed him, saying, Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of a fertile field, which Yahweh has blessed. May Yah give you dew from heaven, and the richness of the earth, abundance of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow low before you. Be master of your brothers. Let your mother's other sons bow low before you. Accursed be whoever curses you. and blessed be whoever blesses you. As soon as Esau had finished blessing Jacob, and just as Jacob was leaving his father Isaac, his brother Esau returned from hunting. He too made an appetizing dish and brought it to his father. Father, please eat some of your son's game and then give me your special blessing. His father Isaac asked, Who are you? I am your firstborn son Esau, he replied. At this, Isaac was seized with a violent trembling and said, Who was it then that went hunting and brought me the game? I finished eating it just before you came in. I blessed him, and now blessed he will remain. On hearing his father's words, Esau cried out loudly and bitterly and said to his father, Father, bless me too. But he replied, Your brother came by fraud and took your blessing. Esau said, His name should be Jacob right enough, for he has now supplanted me twice. First he took my birthright, and look, now he has gone and taken my blessing. But, he added, have you not kept a blessing for me? Isaac replied to Esau, I have already made him your master. I have given him all his brothers as servants. I have given him grain and wine to sustain him. So what can I do for you, son? Esau said to his father, Can you bless only once, father? Father, bless me too. Isaac remained silent, and Esau began to weep aloud. Then his father Isaac spoke again and said, Far from the richness of the earth and the dew of heaven above, your home will be. By your sword you will live, your brother will you serve. But when you win your freedom, you will shake his yoke off your neck. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. And Esau said to himself, The time to mourn for my father will be soon here. Then I shall kill my brother Jacob. When the words of Esau, her elder son, were repeated to Rebekah, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, Look, your brother Esau means to take revenge and kill you. Now, son, listen to me. Go at once and take refuge with my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him a while until your father's fury cools, until your brother's fury cools, until your brother's anger is diverted from you and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I shall send someone to bring you back. I do not want to lose you both in one day. Rebekah said to Isaac, The Hittite woman sickened me to death. If Jacob were to marry a Hittite woman like these, one of the local women, what would there be left in life for me? Genesis 28. So Isaac summoned Jacob and blessed him, and he gave him this order. You are not to marry any of the Canaanite women. Go off to Padan Aram, the home of Bethuel, your mother's father, and there choose a wife for yourself from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May El Shaddai bless you. May he make you fruitful and make you multiply so that you become a group of nations. May he grant you the blessing of Abraham, you and your descendants after you, so that one day you may own the country where you are now living as a stranger, which Yah gave to Abraham. Then Isaac sent Jacob away, and Jacob went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, and brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Paddan, he chose a wife there, and that in blessing him he had given him this order. You are not to choose a wife from the Canaanite women, and that in obedience to his father and mother, Jacob had gone to Paddan Aram. Esau then realized how much his father Isaac disapproved of the Canaanite women. So Esau went to Ishmael and chose for a wife, in addition to the wives he had, Mahalah, daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael and sister of Nebaioth. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. When he had reached a certain place, he stopped there for the night, since the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of that place, he made it his pillow and lay down there where he was. He had a dream. There was a ladder planted on the ground with its top reaching to heaven, and Yah's angels were going up and down on it. And there was Yahweh standing beside him and saying, I, Yahweh, am the all power of Abraham, your father, and the power of Isaac. The ground on which you are laying I shall give to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as plentiful as the dust on the ground. You will spread out to west and east, to north and south, and all clans on earth will bless themselves by you and your descendants. Be sure I am with you. I shall keep you safe wherever you go and bring you back to this country, for I shall never desert you until I have done what I have promised you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Truly, Yahweh is in this place, and I did not know. He was afraid and said, How awe-inspiring this place is. This is nothing less than the abode of Yah, and this is the gate of heaven. Early next morning, Jacob took the stone he had used for his pillow and set it up as a pillar, pouring oil over the top of it. He named the place Bethel, but before that, the town had been called Luz. Jacob then made this vow: If Yah remains with me and keep me safe on this journey I am making, if he gives me food to eat and clothes to wear, and if I come home safe to my father's home, then Yahweh shall be my God. This stone I have set up as a pillar to be a house of Yah, and I shall faithfully pay you a tenth part of everything you give me. Somebody else want to take over? It's Genesis 29. And how long do you want to go, Brother Saul? You want to read the whole book of Genesis, Brother Saul? Brother Warifa, you still here? Shalom, Brother Menelik.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a long way to go.
Yeah, we got 50 chapters. We
Still
can do
got
half and then do the other half tomorrow. You say we could start that off in the morning.
yeah, we can definitely finish it by tomorrow. What's 131? It's like 31 more pages left or something like that. We're basically we're basically halfway already.
Yeah, we halfway. What you say, Brother Warrior?
I can't do no more reading tonight. I can listen.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
My eyes burning.
My grab
We could stop. We could stop here and continue tomorrow if y'all want to read a little more. It don't matter to
It's
me.
up to you. We here. I'm here. You know, if you want to read a little bit more, then we can just finish the rest tomorrow.
Yeah, because like I say, I'll be in bed like 8 o'clock, so I'm not used to staying out that late. But let's see where we at right now. Yeah, we can just pick it up tomorrow. What time y'all wake up?
Yeah, I won't be up tomorrow. I'll be up early, but I'll probably be heading to work. I have to work in the morning. So I'll probably be heading to work.
I'll probably start around. Let's see, maybe 8, between 8 and 10 a.m. Probably get started.
I'll tune.
We can definitely have we can definitely have it finished before noon, and then pick it up. Maybe we can have Genesis finished before noon, and then pick it up on Exodus. Maybe around between 2 and 4. Start Exodus.
Hmm. That sounds good. There are more people because people that went to bed. I know Sister Judah probably they done went to bed and stuff
Right.
like that.
Friday night.
Tomorrow it'll be more people that that want to read and things of that nature. So you want to just pray us out, brother, and then you can end the room. All praises to the Most High Yahweh.
Yeah. You know how Friday nights are. Yeah. All praises to the Heavenly Father Yahweh. We thank you for the people that you have gathered here to read as one, and pray that you put it in the hearts of people that have the debating too much and the strife. Put it on their hearts to want to put that down for a while and come read with us and go through your word together as a unit, so we may gather as you have commanded, and we may be at peace with each other and learn together and settle our differences and become one body. As you have stated, Israel is your son, and we shall become one body and serve you as one. Pray that you instill us with wisdom, and be wise enough to hold on. Hey, your voice is on Reef. Pray that you make us wise enough to know what really matters and teach us your ways. Teach us how to stop being so proud and to glorify you in the correct manner. All praise to your holy name. Protect us. Let us wake up tomorrow refreshed, and give us the zeal. Put in each of us, give us the zeal to want to read and study upon your word and meditate on it, and to seek your face and to meditate upon you and want to serve you in the best way possible. All praise to your holy name. Anybody else want to say something before we nod off?
I just want to say thank you, brother, for these readings. We've had some good readings, and may it continue. And may also I continue to, like you said, give us that zeal. So I just want to say all praises to the Most High Yahweh, who is the head of all things. May it continue to bless us and bless everybody. May you have a beautiful night. And may when we wake in the morning, we praise Yahweh as we begin a new day in Him. You can end it when you're ready, brother. Shalom, everyone.
All right, shalom. Have a good night. Y'all be
Good
blessed.
night, everybody. Be blessed.